It's a quick progress report on the UI layout tool. We have now file, save, and load, and multiple document interface. You can see we can actually get multiple documents here. We can actually also drag and drop now assets into the document. There's my daughter's grad picture. What else we got here? We have a sign from our local grocery store. Okay, and then the other thing we can do is we can actually drag and drop now swf symbols in. So for example, I can do this whole set of assets here, and all of the swf files, or all the timelines in a swf file, will come in now. Eventually I'll just have a dialog box that you can kind of pick and choose there, but you can see that it's basically not that hard to continue on from there. You'll see also that the elements come in named based on their export value. It'll make its own names if it doesn't have an export. It doesn't need to be exported, but then they come in as MC1, MC2. But of course, then you can easily change them to whatever you like. We can also open files because our file format thing there is done now. So, for example, if we open this test file, you can see we have a car. We can make now, for example, a whole bunch of these pick symbols if we, oops, not double click and edit, but just make a bunch of copies of it, and now save this, and now close it, and if we reopen it, we will have saved it. Okay, what else do we got? We got, well, here I'll just open one or two more. We can have obviously as many files as we like, and these come in named, and they're of course vector, and you can zoom in and all that nice stuff. The other thing to look at here is the actual file format. Now when I save them, I have what's called a UIL format, which means UI layout, suggested by a very good friend, and I think I'm actually going to stick with that. The UI layout, it's basically just the Swift header and some other things. I don't even have the full header in there right now, but there's just minor things to add. But more importantly, it's kind of designed to be source control friendly. So it'll save a definitions folder and an instances folder. Instances are just like instance of definitions that go inside of definitions, like inside timelines. So it has instances have things like matrices and color transforms and that kind of stuff, and they allow the animation of different symbols. And then the actual definitions themselves have header files, and they'll give a path to the actual definition and the path in the library. So the headers are basically things that the design tool uses, like the equivalent of the FLA, but not the SWF. And then the SWF stuff would be in actual definitions. So that's either going to be, like in this case, the raw bitmap, which we can see over here, or it will be a timeline definition, which holds the instance IDs inside each timeline, or an actual symbol definition, which is like a vector file format definition. And we've got fill colors and shapes, and that encodes in both cubic and quadratic Bezier, so it can preserve flash file formats or SVG formats. It doesn't have to convert from one to the other. And then the export is actually pretty much working too, and right now we can export to and this is not completely verified, but from previous projects, this underlying file format I've used to export to SVG, Xaml. We go to XNA and Windows with it, and then also back to Swift, of course. And my son Sky is actually now has it working, that file format, in Unity. We use this file format when we do our own Flash work or XNA work. And then Daniel Santos has another version for Windows Phone running that I haven't integrated yet, but I'm going to get onto that as soon as I get to the export part. Anyway, that's where we are. Thanks for listening.